Hey guys, welcome back to Chasing the Wild. I know it's been a while since we made our last video, but a lot of stuff's happened. Turkey season's ended. So hopefully you guys had a little bit better luck than I have. I never even got to see a gobbler out there. Heard plenty of them, but couldn't quite close the deal on any of them. Nonetheless, we do have some pretty good news for you guys this week. And we've also got some really interesting draws outlined for you guys. This information is not always the easiest to find, and there's actually some pretty interesting opportunities out there. So make sure you stay to the end to find out what the upcoming draws are. And for once, we're actually going to let you guys know what the open draws are right now, as well as which draw deadlines are coming up. So make sure you stay tuned to the end. Without further ado, we'll go ahead and jump into our first news story. All right, so our first news story comes to us out of South Carolina, my home state, and it comes to us from Kiowa Island. A lady named Cynthia Covert decided that despite warnings and signs and even verbal warnings from her friend that she was going to try to pet an alligator on the island. This alligator had been seen for the last 15 to 20 years feeding on deer in this particular stretch of water, and the actual homeowner of the property that this lady was attacked on even warned her not to go near this gator. Cynthia Covert was actually responding to a house call to do a nail appointment. I guess she did a mobile nail salon, or maybe just because of the quarantine, that's just what she was doing at the time. But she showed up, I don't know if it was before or after she did her appointment, but she saw a gator over in the water and decided that she was going to go and try to pet it. Unfortunately, she got dragged in. Not really a surprise to me, I guess a huge surprise to her. And unfortunately, she was killed. Don't really know what to tell you other than Darwinism is still alive and well, and survival of the fittest is a thing. On to the next story. Alright, and since we're on the subject of animal attacks, unfortunately there was another bear attack, this time in Oregon instead of last time how it was in Wyoming. This time it was west of Croswell, Oregon, and the man who was attacked was with his dog, and he was 72 years old. He was out for a stroll, just walking his property, or I think it was actually his neighboring property, but it was on a forest service road, and out of nowhere he was attacked by, he was actually a black bear this time. Not a grizzly bear. He was attacked by a black bear. He suffered multiple lacerations to his head, his arms, and his torso, but as of right now, he's in stable condition, so pretty tough old man. At first, the bear actually tried to attack his dog, and he tried to scare the bear away before it attacked him. Officials responded to the site and tried to hunt down the bear. The guy was able to give a pretty good description of the bear. It also had a light patch on its muzzle, and they treated a bear only, I think they said, a mile away from where he was attacked with dogs, and they euthanized the bear. So they're pretty sure it's the exact same bear that attacked him at the time. Unfortunate story. Don't really think that the guy's at fault or the bear's at fault. It's just part of when you go out in nature, especially out in West where it's bear country. You just got to always be cognizant of your surroundings and carry protection with you, whether it be a dog, a pistol, or a bear mace. Alright, again, I try to stay as apolitical on this channel as possible, but this one's just plain funny. We talked about last week about how there is a blanket gun ban going on in Canada due to a executive order from Canada's Prime Minister. Well, as I said last week, it covers a lot of models of mostly what are considered assault weapons, including mini hunting rifles. But it also apparently mixed up some names on some models and banned not only a coffee company, but also a toy and a website. The coffee company is Black Rifle Coffee Company. I'm sure you've heard of them. If you haven't, just look on YouTube. They've got some pretty funny videos. But it's a veteran-owned coffee company, but they're called Black Rifle Coffee Company, obviously, because it's veteran-owned. But they have it listed as BRC 15, Black Rifle Coffee Company 15. Pretty funny. I guess they thought it was an AR-15. Speaking of AR-15s, they also thought that AR-15.com needed to be banned. I guess just because it shares the name with the common assault weapon that they're trying to ban in Canada. And it's just an online community that discusses the AR-15, but it's not in and of itself an actual weapon. This last one is actually a little bit more understandable. It's the Blackwater 15, and if you're into the airsoft community, you've probably heard of this model of, it's an airsoft gun. It's a toy. It's an electric airsoft gun that shoots little plastic pellets, I believe. That's banned. Apparently, the actual infamous Blackwater company that was operating in Iraq, they actually did have some custom-made AR-15s, or excuse me, well, M4s really, but that they called the Blackwater 15. And I guess that's what they were trying to target on this, but the way the bill is written, it also bans the toy as well. So, again, like, pretty hastily written law, obviously. There's a new hunting proposal in Wyoming that suggests that they should increase the number of wolves that you're allowed to hunt each year by 50%. This is due to the fact that despite the number of wolves that are being killed, the rate of wolves killing, be it elk or other species, is staying steady. So they're saying that killing more wolves will continue to manage the population, but still ensure that enough of the population of elk and other species are being managed by wolves in part, as well as by hunters. There also is a second part of this proposal that they're talking about. It's making the date for when you can start wolf hunting later. Originally, it was on September 1st. They've talked about moving it to October 1st, but apparently they've compromised on September 15th. And that's due to hunters saying that they are seeing too many young wolves earlier in the year, and they would like to hunt later in the year when they're at least a little bit bigger. The Wyoming officials have said that this is actually probably a good sign. That means that people are taking wolf hunting more seriously, because between 2018 and 2019, they saw a decrease in the number of people who applied for a wolf permit. They've still seen about a 2% success rate. I think a lot of people are probably just taking these wolf tags with them when they're going to hunt other species so that they can still get wolves. But it is good that there's going to be more opportunities to hunt wolves and manage wolves within the population. Despite the number of people who have been wolf hunting, like I said, it's only been about a 2% rate of success, and the wolf population is still increasing. So the officials are concerned that making this move will help alleviate some of the issues with wolves. Alright guys, as I said, something new we're going to try this week. I'm going to go over what application deadlines are actually open right now across at least all of the United States, as much as I can find out at least, and some of Canada. So I'm not going to go into every single state as far as what species is open, but I'll at least tell you what states have open applications. So if it's your home state, you can check and see what you can apply for a lot cheaper than most people probably can. All right, we're going to start it off. Open applications are in Idaho right now for all species, Missouri elk. This is a good one, South Carolina gator. I'll try to put up a picture that I just saw a huge gator taken in South Carolina this past season. And there's some big gators in South Carolina. And it's not as expensive as it is in some other states, even for non-residents. Michigan elk, black bear, Illinois whitetail turkey, Arkansas elk, Wisconsin elk, Iowa whitetail, Arizona big game, Yukon big game, Saskatchewan big game, Nova Scotia moose, North Dakota mule deer, whitetail, not white deer. Florida has currently open applications for gator and hogs. These are controlled hunts, so you can hunt hogs obviously on your own property whenever you want to. They're not a controlled species necessarily, but there's some controlled areas for hogs. And then finally, before we close off of what open applications are, Kansas is still open. Like always, we're going to go ahead and go over what the upcoming draw deadlines are. So these are the states I probably just mentioned, but these are some of these states are the ones that are about to actually close right now. So on May 19th, is when the Florida Gator, at least the Phase 1 Florida Gator applications are due by. I wouldn't really look at this one unless you just got a lot of money and want to go after a gator, or if you're a resident of Florida, because like I said, there's cheaper areas you can go to get a gator. On May 21st, Yukon, Canada is going to be having their all species deadline. So if you would like to apply for a hunt in Canada, make sure that you get your application in by May 21st. I believe that there's caribou, 2 different species of sheep. I believe that it's stone sheep and Dall sheep, as well as your typical deer and moose application as well. And then finally, on May 21st is your Washington all species deadline. Make sure you guys get your money sorted and get your applications in on time. Like always, guys, if you like what you're seeing and want to see more content every week, it takes a lot of work, so I do appreciate if you guys subscribe down below. And of course, I'm going to keep doing it no matter what, because I do it because I enjoy it. I do it for you guys. But it does help us out a lot if you guys leave a comment, leave a like, and just go ahead and subscribe. I'll see you guys next week.